Friends, a few days ago, we read a story about Fern who wanted to be a princess. And then Fern finally met the princess, and the princess wanted to be just like Fern. Today, we have another princess story. Well, it's about a princess and a pig. I don't know what happens in this story, but let's find out together in The Princess and the Pig. Not that long ago, in a kingdom not far from here, a farmer was traveling home from the market with a cartload of straw. The farmer was so poor that he didn't have a horse and had to pull the cart all by himself. In the back of the cart lay a tiny piglet. All the way back there, that little baby pig. Nobody wanted to buy the piglet at the market, but the farmer had taken pity on it. "I'll call you Pigmella," he decided, as this seemed like a good name for a pig. It was a hot day, and the farmer stopped to rest in the shade of a great castle. And far, far above, high on the balcony, a queen was inspecting her new baby. The queen was so rich that she had 7 nannies and didn't have to look after her own child. The queen picked up the baby out of her cradle and held her out at arm's length. "I'll call you Priscilla," she decided, as this seemed like a good name for the princess. A moment later, a wet squealing noise came from the baby's diaper, closely followed by an awful smell. "Yuck!" shrieked the queen, dropping the baby and running off to find a royal nanny. She left so quickly that she didn't notice she had dropped the baby. Oh no! Over the edge of the balcony. Ah! Down, down, down went the baby, and into the farmer's cart. Up, up, up flew the piglets into the princess's cradle. They switched places. When the queen returned and found the piglet lying where the baby should have been, she let out an even louder shriek, "Oh!" and fainted into one of the nanny's arms. Oh. The king thought he knew what had happened. "A bad fairy tale has done this. A bad fairy has done this," he explained. "The fairy wasn't invited to the princess's christening, so she's turned the baby into a piglet to get her revenge. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in stories," he said. Meanwhile, the farmer had returned home and was surprised to discover a baby girl lying where the piglet should have been. The farmer's wife thought she knew what happened. "A good fairy has done this," she explained. "The fairy knew how poor we are and how honest we are and how badly we wanted a child. So she turned the piglet into a baby. It's the sort of thing that happens in books all the time." Friends, did any of that happen? Did a fairy turn the piglet into a baby girl? No. Did a fairy turn the princess into a piglet? No. Right? They switched places by accident. And so, without a second thought, the baby became Pigmella, the farmer's daughter, and the piglet became Priscilla, the royal princess. What a silly, silly kingdom. It wasn't long before Pigmella was able to eat, walk, and get dressed all by herself. And the farmer and his wife soon forgot that she had ever been a pig. Things were not so easy for Priscilla. Oh, is she crawling on the table? Oh, is she running away from the nannies who want to get her dressed? Yeah. Oh, and but the king and queen never let anyone forget that she really was a princess. Is Pigmella really a princess? No, the princess is over here with the farmer and his wife. As Pigmella grew older, she grew smarter and beautiful and was admired by everyone she met. As Prusella grew older, she grew not so smart and not so beautiful, and she was avoided by everyone she met. Then, one day, the farmer's wife overheard some of the castle servants talking about the princess who turned into a pig. It's just like what happened to Pigmella, she told her husband, only the other way around. The farmer soon guessed what had happened. The princess and the pig must have swapped places somehow, he explained. It's the sort of thing that happens in books all the time, he said. The poor farmer and his wife were very unhappy. They loved Pigmella, but they knew they must return her to her rightful home. Oh, that must be real, real hard and make the farmer and his wife real sad. Pigmella was also unhappy. She loved the farmer and his wife and did not want to live with anyone else. But they were an honest family. So, the next day, they all went to the castle to see the king and queen. The king and queen listened to the farmer's story. Do you think the king and queen believed the farmer and his wife? That's a good guess. Let's find out. But they didn't believe it. What nonsense this is, cried the queen. Ridiculous. The king laughed. Oh, this girl may be smart and beautiful, but she does not look or speak like a princess. Is this the real princess? No. Is this the real princess? Yes. The queen thought she knew what was happening. It's a trick, she declared. This girl is just a farmer's daughter pretending to be a princess so that she can marry a prince. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books. And so, Pigmella returned home with the farmer and his wife, where she married a young shepherd and lived happily ever after, and never once wished that she'd been a princess. Oh, look at all that dancing, look at all that happiness. Oh, that's beautiful. But what about the pig? Huh. And Prusella also got married to a handsome prince, although he had to be talked into it. Priscilla was changed into a pig by a bad fairy at birth, the king explained. But once you kiss her, the spell will be broken, and she will turn into a beautiful princess, added the queen. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in books. Good job, they assured him. But unfortunately for the prince, do you think the pig turned into a real princess? Let's find out. It's not the sort of thing that happens in this particular book. Does the prince look happy with his new pig bride? I don't think so. Well, that was a silly book. Well, friends, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.